Well, hello everybody, it's Bug Eater 64, and today we're doing something a little different. Just downloaded X-Plane 1140 Beta 1, and there's been some real changes to the flight dynamics of the aircraft and how the atmosphere around the wings, fuselage, propeller blades, how it all affects how we move through that air when we're flying. So with that, what I'm going to do is going to do a little testing. Going to test it with our newest little lady, the Nimbus Huey UH-1. Now the first test is going to be flying the helicopter without the experimental flight box checked in the settings for X-Plane. After we're done with that, we'll see how things go and how the aircraft reacts and so on. Alright, so we'll see you on the inside. Let's get this thing started. Okay, and as you can see, this is the general settings area of our X-Plane settings, and we're just going to leave this experimental flight model box unchecked, and that is the way it is supposed to be for our little lady here. The manual says that we have to have that button unchecked for her to fly the way they've got her designed. So we're going to find that out. So let's get her started. And we're sitting at KWJF, Lancaster, California, and we're just going to make a little flight around the airfield and come back and land. Try to get, there we go, generator down there. Anti-collision lights, and we'll get the flash. Okay. So let's run up to full RPM. Left rudder cyclic. There we go. We'll collect it then, and we'll adjust our trim as we lift off. Not using the force trim yet. Just trying to see if I can get the trim set up so she'll hover a little better. Airplane. Who put that there?
FSE flight not started.
She's a little touchy with the trim button. We got her where I think she needs to be.
turn around and head back to the base and make a landing. See if we can get her slowed down. Right now we've got her pretty close to a high hover. We're going to ease her down and see what happens when the ground effect kicks in. The more I fly this helicopter, the more and more I like it. And she and I are coming to an understanding, I think, for the most part. That's that ground effect kicking in. Okay, down safe. I'll take it. And use the throttle down to idle. Fuel. Don't need it now. Turn off force trims, hydraulics. Turn our lights off now. little bit tough sometimes while she's shaking to get these switches turned off. Okay. She's been put to bed.
Okay, so we finished the first flight. Everything went very well. Helicopter worked quite well. I did not use the forced trim. I found that it's actually easier just to manually trim the bird while I'm flying it, and for takeoff and landing and everything. So that's what I did, and you can see the results. So now, though, what I'm going to do is something that the manual for the Nimbus Huey says never to do. It's totally against the rules, and that is I'm going to fly it using the X-Plane experimental flight system. Now, the reason we're going to do that is that in the update notes for Beta 1, it says in order to be able to use the changes that have been made, you have to have the experimental flight model box checked. So we're going to do that and see how it affects our helicopter. So we'll see you in the inside. Let's get this thing going.
Okay, so as you can see, we've gone ahead and we've checked the experimental flight model, and that's what we're going to use in this test. Again, same aircraft, our Nimbus Huey, and we'll go from there. So here we sit again at KWJF. Okay, fuel on. Force trim, hydraulics. That's some local aircraft moving around. Aircraft. And a collision. Down the flash. Generator on. Spool her up full RPM. controls set for takeoff configuration. As before, no force trim settings for the takeoff. We'll just ease back on the collective and put in some manual inputs. At this point, I don't see any real difference between the experimental model and the normal model. That S76 kind of buzzed us a little bit.
FSE flight not started.
Things seem to be working fine. I really enjoy flying this helicopter. She's just very basic. If you don't pay attention to her, she will hurt you. Okay, so now let's see if we can land it. I haven't really noticed any real flight performance changes from the experimental model and the regular model. So that's good. Down here. She might even slow down better in this experimental flight model. Seems to hover a little easier, or a little better, more receptive to control input. trying to know what that alarm is. Not to worry, we'll get her on the ground safely. Pad. Does seem to hover a little better in this experimental mode, which is an interesting. And she's down, safe and sound. The throttle's down. And the idles. Yeah, that first alarm, prone because I did the entire flight without turning on the inverter. So, which we don't need now. Turn off fuel. Force trim, hydraulics. Good thing it was a very short flight. That's what happens when you don't use checklists. Generator back to start generator position. Lights off. Okay.
So there you have it. We made it, we landed, and to be honest, I didn't see much difference between the experimental flight model and how the aircraft reacted in the normal model. But the Nimbus worked quite well, a lot better than the pilot handling it, but we had a good time doing it. So there you have it, X-Plane 11 dash or .40 beta 1. And beta 3 is going to be coming out real soon, and there's been some really nice updates from the flight model with that too, so I'm looking forward to that. Matter of fact, in the beta 3 they're supposed to finally model the VRS, the vortex ring state of a helicopter. So that'll make flying much more interesting, especially with the Huey, because she will kill you if you don't pay attention to that VRS and your descent rate. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Sure had a lot of fun doing it. This is Bug Eater 64, and until next time, as always, safe flying.